One.
What's up, everybody? We are live with our Indie Advocates Indie Comic News. Really excited. Glad to have you guys all out here. Man, let's see what. And today I'm lucky because it's not just me. Sometimes, often it's a one man show. And speaking of one man shows, my special host today, there he is. What's up, Mr. Anderson?
What's going on, guys?
Kicking ass and taking names.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna do the news together for once. We've never actually we did this a while ago and it was a lot of fun and I miss doing the news, so I wanted to come on with Chuck today. So
Good. I'm really glad you did, dude. And honestly, I had a fucking blast when we did the Kickstarter just before or just at the beginning of Welcome to the Void. That was great. So yeah, I'm really stoked to do this again.
all right. And what do you think about the new thing that we just started? 'Cause this is one of the reasons I was excited to be on the show today. We changed the look of Indie Advocates today.
Ah, look at that. Look at those handsome mothers up there, man. I honestly I love the banners. I love them a lot. Uh, I think you know what? I think it's great because people are gonna look up there and be like, "Who the hell are those people?" Like, and they're gonna look into it. It's easy to just kind of see pretty art and go, "Okay, time to move on." But I love the hell out of this. I really do.
And as we were speaking about it, the Cosviewed section, we're going to kind of take Cosviewed out of the main menu for a little while. That's mostly because of the fact that we don't get a lot of hits by people doing that. There's not an organic thing. And then we're going to replace that with the actual section that tells you who's in the banner. So that will be being fixed in the next couple days. I wanted to finish the whole list. We're going to have 6 of these, which is going to wind up making like 36 creators that will be featured on top. So that's pretty cool.
That's sweet. How many do we have up so far? 3?
4 banners are completed at this
Oh,
point.
cool. Okay.
We
I guess I'm a dick. I saw mine and then I just went, all right, that's good.
Well, they're not rotating fully yet. I have to put the rotator on because we keep adding them throughout the day. So I've been testing them. It just so happened the last one I added happened to be ours, and I'm kind of cool about that right now. You know, why not
Right.
devil a little bit? What did I call everyone? It was the devil, the thinker, the punk, the talker, the mind, and the editor.
That's right.
And it was all true. And everyone's like, wait a minute, what am I? No one asked who the devil was, though. I think everyone knew right away.
Actually, the devil, the artist, and the editor. There was no like really it was just the mind and the mouth. Those were the ones where I was like, which one's which? And I actually had them backwards, but
And it could go backwards on that one. Like, that one was a harder one. I figured the mouth with Brian because he always does those online videos. But
I
today,
love his shows.
but Travis was giving him a run for his money today. He was on for like an hour with like a solid, like very interesting rant. You guys got to check that out today.
Oh, it was a good one. Well, and then it's funny because then he jumped in and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not done yet," and did another one right after.
And it looked like he was driving again. I was like, "Did you forget the milk and had some extra time?" He's like, "No, wait, I'm not done."
Hey, my dogs, Finn.
For one, it's not my dogs. Usually, it's my dogs barking. So go ahead, read off some of the news.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, welcome to Creators Alley and a video to explain why it's important. We've had this one up for a while now, right?
Yeah, this because it's important, and Chuck should probably
Yeah.
have a table.
Yeah, well, I do have a table actually. I believe
Yeah,
as an editor. I'm not 100% sure if I have it as a writer. It might just be both. But yeah, I love this because it's a virtual Comic Con. You get to check this out. You get to look and you get to see A, B, C, D. Everyone's gonna have their own different sections. You get to look, see all the different stuff they do, all that kind of thing. It's terrific. I think any way that you can monetize and brand yourself so that even while you're sleeping, you're making money or you're still getting your name out there is awesome. So that's why I love the hell out of this.
yeah, you guys can see it right here.
Yeah.
These all wind up being linkable when you go to the section, and to get to the section, all you have to do is click it, and then you get to actually be part of it. So it's pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. And you can always find it also. A lot of people don't realize that it's in our main menu in Creators Alley. And I call it Creators Alley because Artist Alley always makes me feel like I'm dirty for being there and I don't belong.
Yeah, I thought honestly when I first started hearing about it, someone said, "Oh yeah, I've got a thing in Artist Alley," and I'm like, "You're not an artist." And they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you don't actually have to be. That's just the name." And I'm like, "Then I don't like that name very much. Like it doesn't make me as a writer or an editor want to sit down in that area."
And there's Chuck at 10C.
Yeah.
But you need one, I think, for your the Void or the Bonfire. You should do one for Bonfire too.
I think I am going to do one for Bonfire as soon as I have our proper website done, which is our next big thing: website and email group and whatnot.
Yeah. And of course, this is the news program, so we'll go right over here for Mr. Tatters.
All right, so Mr. Tatters, is that Lonnie Webb who does that?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
I honestly have so many different titles that I hate even saying it unless I know 100%. And I actually did get to quickly look through this, and it wasn't a bad novel at all. They just asked me for an opinion. See, it doesn't say the name of it on there.
Yeah, yeah, right there, Lonnie Webb.
Where do you see it? Where am I missing it?
Right under Mr. Tatters, The Horror Adventure by Lonnie Webb.
Webb. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That is Lonnie Webb, and it was a
Yeah.
good book actually. I dug it. I think it's interesting. He didn't ask for the full review, and I love when people don't ask me for a full review because then I don't have to formally do it.
Yeah.
Because I get asked a lot, and you know this, the people, and I've shown you some of the things that I've gotten, and they're like, "Can you just give me your opinion?" And I'm like, "Don't give up your day job." And I know it sounds horrible, but some people aren't ready.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree. And that's a tough part about doing them. I've had some where you do the review, and no matter how you do it, you don't feel good about it because I don't want to go hard against them because I love just that they're doing it and trying to better themselves and follow their dream. I love that. But then the other side of you is like, I also want to be harsh as shit, and it's not in me. So I end up just feeling dirty when it's all done.
see, I don't mind being harsh privately, and I've told people literally, "You're not ready," and you're not
Oh
ready
yeah.
or
Oh
not.
yeah, no, but I mean publicly when I'm doing a review, I hate doing that, and so when I don't do it fully to what I feel like it deserves, I end up feeling a little dirty and unhappy.
Well, I won't give a solid review to anyone who doesn't have a solid book because I think people do count on me to tell them how a book is. So if
Yeah.
I like it, I have to like it. And I've told people, I even got offered, someone offered me $500 to do a positive review on a shit book. And
Wow.
I turned it down. I was like, nope. And later on, controversy wound up showing up with this guy, and it turned out that he was trying to just set up a Kickstarter to make money and ran with the money.
Shit.
You're familiar with people taking money and running from Kickstarters, unfortunately. You've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it. And I mean I've been on it's tough, man. It really is. And a lot of people go, "Well, what are we going to do about it?" And I said, "Honestly, the best thing you can do is just know your people as much as possible. Support the people that you've learned to like and to respect and trust. And I mean that means that you have to find a way to build it. And I mean, it. I spent a year editing other people's books just to get mine out there and to get an audience for it.
And it worked. And I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. It worked. It worked like a motherfucker. But I had to put in some time, and if you're not willing to put in the time to get an audience and to get people interested in your voice, then you're not ready for this because it's going to be a slog. Even when you make it, you still have to keep going. You're always going to be judged by your last book, by your last edit, by your last project.
Okay,
So
we have
yeah.
to touch on this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What is this?
Anyway, yeah. We could go on that forever.
What is
I
this?
like this one. Supporting a Kickstarter takes only a single dollar a day or a single dollar to do, and I love that. Just, I mean, on Kickstarter, what a lot of people don't understand is they go, "Oh, a dollar, that's just like throwing a quarter at a waitress." No, it's quite the opposite. Those waitresses live off of that money, so you can't just throw a quarter at them. That sucks. But for us, when you throw a dollar at a Kickstarter, um, no one knows how much you put in there unless you say it. The
Yep.
only people who know are you and the single admin who's running it. So what happens is like I have, and I'm sure you do too, a crap load of people who follow me on Kickstarter. And so if I throw a dollar at a project, all they see is, "Oh, Chuck liked this project enough to put money into it. I'm going to take a look at it." And so you're getting eyes on those projects. I'm not saying that you need to necessarily throw dollars at stuff willy nilly, but anything you think that deserves at least an eye, throw a buck at.
No, I completely agree with you. And I don't think people understand, too, that even the quarter idea, let me tell you, a quarter goes in a meter and stops you from getting a $25 ticket. Everything matters in life. So when you're doing that dollar, you don't know. You could be paying for a Facebook ad or getting that person to their goal. And I don't know if I ever explained this to you. I know I said it on the video. This all came about because I had a friend who was a creator who missed his goal by like $200, and he let it fail. He didn't put the money in. And he just said to me, he's like, it's funny, I have 3,000 friends on Facebook. If everyone had just given $1, I would have made my goal and then some. And that kind of always stayed with me because it made me realize the fact that so many people don't realize how important even a small donation can really be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel you, but I mean, I think we all need to understand too that just because we're friends on Facebook does not mean that they're gonna automatically support you. You got to be willing to do the footwork.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot. Like I mean, I know I was talking. Joseph Dewis was talking recently, and he said, you know, for him, and it's true. He was talking about Dr. Orange back in March, and it just finished. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point. So, I mean, he put a lot of time and effort into that and deserved it. And so, if you just drop it at the last second and you're like, oh, yeah, I expect you to fund me, guys, it doesn't work like that. Like, I mean, it can. And if it does for you, you're lucky or you have a really good fan base. But you have to be willing to do the pre-work too, which will hopefully get you those $1. And I only got a couple, but every $1 I got, I was happy with.
Oh yeah, man. I truly do appreciate that.
Yep.
It just backs me because just backing a person says, hey, look, I appreciate you. And I'll be honest with you, anyone who gives $1 gets a book. I send a PDF and I don't care. I know it might devalue what a PDF cost was to some people who backed it, but you know, I also want to build a relationship with people. And believe it or not, that's helped me in future issues where people have come back just for the PDF on the next issue because they did like the first PDF.
Yeah, I actually had that. I won't name the creator, even though they were nice, but I just don't like to name anyone in general if I can help. But I had 149 backers. It was the last second, and I was just like, hey man, who wants to be my 150th? Hit it up, and a creator came in and jumped in for $1. And it meant that now I can say I have 150. You know, it was benchmarks. It was all that kind of stuff. It's just nice round numbers. It feels good to be able to hit something like that. And so I contacted them and I said, look, I really appreciate you doing that. That was very cool. I'm going to send you a PDF. And he was like, oh, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, nah, man, like it's no big deal. Like I'm glad to be able to do it. And I appreciate it. And hopefully you like what you see. And if you do, I'll see you next time. And if you don't, I literally lost nothing.
Yeah. When you could gain a fan. And that's what I realized, you know, and I learned this the hard way. You have to value yourself correctly. But a PDF is that one opportunity where you don't have to put a strict value on a PDF. You can play with PDFs.
Yeah, man. I sent a bunch of early copies of Welcome to the Void out before and during the Kickstarter to get people to read it, review it, and talk about it. And it was mostly like I was sending out to podcasts and reviewers and all that. And I wasn't even 100% sure who all I sent it to. But about a month ago, so after the Kickstarter, after everything was done, I got an email from someone basically saying, hey, I read Welcome to the Void. I really liked it. It's one of my favorite books right now. I'm really excited to keep an eye on you and watch what you continue to do with the book. And I was like, great. It was worth it. Like, I didn't even get a penny out of that one. And it doesn't matter because now I have someone who likes what I do, is interested, is watching for me, and they'll have their eye out next time it comes up. And I mean, again, for a free thing that you sent out, that was huge.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that like Tide and Downy and Coca-Cola, they all give away free samples.
Oh, yeah. And those samples actually cost money. Ours don't.
Yeah, and you got to remember you can get someone back on the back end of the trade because when you build a trade, the person is in love with the story. They'll now buy your trade.
Mm-hmm. And I think we all want to be able to have trades at our table at some point because those sell great. and then there's a lot more money to be made in them and everything. They look beautiful. So yeah, if you can have someone hold off until then, there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's funny too. Chuck's going to learn this when he goes to issue 2. The minute you announce an issue 2, people start asking, "When's your trade coming?" Like you're just in issue 2, and they want to know when the trade is.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why I turned my Welcome to the Void into an issue 0. That way, I have to wait 2 more issues to deal with that shit.
This is 0. Now we're just doing 1, guys. Now this is really the first issue. Forget about 0.
Well, it worked out in a lot of regards. The art wasn't up to quite the standards that it is in issue 1, and it's obvious. I mean, it's good, but it's not as amazing as it could be. It was a smaller book. It was more of an origin story. Like, just everything kind of worked out to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, it is an issue 0. That's a lot better, and it means that with our new penciler and all the art team there, it means that now we can say we've had our whole art team since issue 1, and that'll be nice being able to say that down the road.
And it is important to mention that to touch on what Chuck just said. It's okay for us to improve as we go. We're supposed to be doing that. And I recently had a post of a friend who had been told by someone, "Your book looks too mainstream." And I'll be honest with you, that infuriated me. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And excuse my language, but that was my response. I was like, what, indie? We're amateurs. We can't look like a Marvel or DC book. Is that the idea? Like, I have to lower my standards to be an indie? That's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I actually know the person who made that remark, and I know that they didn't mean it in that way, but I agree. Like, when it's said like that, it sounds pretty shitty. Now, what they were really trying to say is, hey, we're indie. It means that we can take risks. We can do weird things with our covers, with our art, with our book. And so I just don't see you taking those risks. I get that point, but the way it was said and the way it's come out is just not necessarily something that I could echo and agree with.
Yeah, but also taking a chance with art doesn't always work out well. I know.
Yeah.
I know this.
Well, I mean, because it's literally in the phrase, you're taking a chance.
Yeah, that's why I call certain books art projects, because I do expect a long road. But speaking of long road, look who just got off a Kickstarter successfully funded.
The team from Mask. I know nothing about this one. Can we see some of the... I like Cyberpunk, so yeah, can we look in and see some of this stuff?
Yeah, this got added literally 3 days before it ended, so like you wouldn't have seen it. I barely talked about it on Kickstarter Talk. This is one of the ones that made me run late doing Kickstarter Talk last week when I was getting ready to leave for a con.
Oh, wow.
And it looked fit. I love playing Cyberpunk, man. I would love, honestly, I don't care. I'm 40. I would still play Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, this has nothing to do with comics, but the guys who made Witcher, the Witcher video game, they're making Cyberpunk into a video game.
Oh, don't I know it? I backed their Kickstarter.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I'm very excited about that one.
Oh, shit. I was like, I don't play a lot of video games because I do this. I'm trying to potty train my son, which takes up so much time. So much time teaching a human being how to pee on a toilet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a creator on my own and I have all this stuff going on. But there are every so often, like, video games where I, like, literally write on my Facebook wall, I'm going to play video games for a week. I'll see you guys in a week.
Yeah. I think you need it. You need to be able to get away. I mean, I literally have a video game in front of me right now because every once in a while I just have to get out my aggression. I'm going to kill some aliens and have a good old time.
Yeah, that's why I don't like I hate the games where it's like a quest where you have to find little small things. I can't. Batman game, I loved it. The only thing I hated about was the fucking Riddler challenges. Oh my God, were they horrible.
Yeah. No, and so that was another game. I like role-playing games. I like a lot of fun, but it's those minutia. Like, hey, there's 1,000 feathers. You need to go find them. And I'm like, no, you need to kiss my ass. I'm not going to go looking for 1,000 feathers.
And in the last Batman game, you had to do it to reveal the ending. I was like, you guys suck so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they've made lots of mistakes like that where it's like you have to do what was it? Final Fantasy X-2, where they were like, yeah, you have to play the game at least 2 or 3 times in order to get the 100% ending, which is the real ending. And I'm like, no. There's this new thing called YouTube, and some asshole is going to do that for me, and then I'll just watch it. I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. I'm not putting 1,000 hours into a friggin' video game so that you can show me an ending that I earned by finishing the damn game.
When did teenage girls start making video games? Because that sounds like the teenage girl stuff that I used to deal with when I was younger. You're not there yet. You have to keep trying.
If you don't know what to do, then I'm not gonna help you. You got to do no. Not interested. There's internet porn and there's YouTube. I don't need either of you.
When it's that much work, I turn it off and I stop playing video games. Honestly, you've lost my market share.
Speaking of internet porn and graphic content, we've got some stuff on New York Comic Con here. What is the graphic content in New York City Comic Con?
Okay, so this is a press release. We signed up for the press releases. This is definitely clickbait. I expected like fetish babies to be listed. They knew I was coming to New York. I'm like, oh my God, they're advertising me. And then I opened it, and I was so let down. I was like, this is not really that graphic, but here it is. This is the graphic content, the Impractical Jokers.
That's the graphic? What?
Yeah, you know the guys who go around and they do dumb shit. It's like Jackass, but with little more feelings.
Well, and I mean, they're not even like... I'm not actually making anything negative against them, but there's nothing really, graphic or bad about them. It's actually fairly PG. Like, my nieces and nephews and grandkids watch that show. Like, what's so graphic about it?
Now, if you wanted it to be graphic, I could certainly make it. I could sit around and read fetish babies.
I'd be on that show, man, in a heartbeat.
In public. Have them act it out.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's not graphic. That's definitely clickbait. Oh, crap.
I was kind of let down by that one.
I agree. Well, especially when you thought, hey, man, NYCC is taking care of me.
I was like, fetish babies is getting known. Look at that. I'm coming.
All right. Ooh. So this week only, save 25% off of Rally SuperCon 2019 comics. Rally, where's Rally? Is that... I'm not great with my American cities.
North America. North Carolina.
North Carolina? Okay.
One of the best shows, honestly. If I get a table and you want to come check out a good show, I'd happily share a table with you at that one. Because that's one to try to go to. Yeah,
I mean, I'm doing Florida, and that's already a drive for me. Man, North Carolina would be crazy.
Actually, I think North Carolina would be easier for you, believe it or not. Because you have
a drive?
Turn. Yeah, you would have, like, here's our map right down here. So you would have to, from Texas, oh, the map went away. Where did it go? There it is. All right, so here's Texas. So you have to drive from Texas to Florida and hook. To go to North Carolina, you would just drive straight up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So that might not be as bad or just as bad of a trip. Because I've seen Texas. You guys suck, man. I want to Texas next year, but that is a drive. I'm actually thinking about flying for Texas.
I think you should fly because honestly, dude, it's 8 hours just to get out of the state at some points. Like I'm in the very center. To get into Louisiana, it's about 4 or 5 hours for me. But at most of the other sections of Texas, it takes 8 hours. When we moved down here, we drove from Canada to get here, and we got into Texas. I'm like, "Yay, we're home!" And they were like, "No, you got another 11 hours."
Yeah.
What the do you mean 11 hours?
It is the big state, right?
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. And then we got 25% off of Florida SuperCon. That's got to be one that you do a lot, right?
That's going to Miami this year. I am so excited. Miami is a very happening place. I loved the first year. I went there to cover it the first year that I was down here, and it was in Miami. It was a great show, so much energy. And they went to Fort Lauderdale, and it's Fort Lauderdale. I don't know. It's like a weird area. It's not a bad area. I'm not going to talk negatively about anyone, of course, but they're just – it was funny, and I say this a lot. When I go to Fort Lauderdale, I'd meet people, and they wouldn't buy my book, and then I'd meet them. And mind you, they live in Fort Lauderdale. I would meet them in Orlando the next show when I do like a MegaCon because or whatever was in Orlando, I met him, or I met him the next year in a different show. And they would buy the book there. And I was like, they were like, oh, I met you in Fort Lauderdale. And I was always like, well, why didn't you buy it then? And it's like, it was like the Twilight Zone. Everyone had trouble selling in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm so happy to be back in Miami.
Look, I'm not from Florida, never been there, but to me, Fort Lauderdale feels like somewhere I would go to visit my grandparents.
It is outside of spring break. Outside of spring break, I think it really is.
Yeah, and so for me, you and I were talking about this off the air. It's the demographics thing where it's like, does Fort Lauderdale have the demographics? Whereas Miami, we all know does. Miami is weird. Miami is fun. Miami is youthful. I mean, that would be the place I would want to do a con. If I was going to go anywhere in Florida, it would be Orlando or Miami. Those would be the two for me.
Yeah, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can get a sandwich in Miami. Miami's a big city. I love big city cons.
Yeah. Grab a Cubano and have a good time.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Just an energy you don't. There are certain shows that have an energy. Even Orlando doesn't have it. Orlando feels like a tourist trap. Sorry, it's true.
Boys.
Even they know Disney's evil. Even they know Disney's evil.
You know, right? They can smell it from here.
You know,
yeah. I mean, Orlando, it is a tourist trap. So I'm sure the cons would be treated the same way, most likely.
Yeah, you pay more for a freaking Big Mac there than you do anywhere else.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And it's not like New York, where at least you're having the experience like, holy shit, this is New York. There is nothing like New York. And I've traveled a good part of the Northeast. I've seen other cities. No city feels like New York. The minute I get into New York, I can feel the energy. I can smell it. There's a smell. And some people call it trash, but they don't understand it.
Yeah, no, they don't. I agree. I spent 3 days in New York, and I loved it too. I was when I was younger. We went there for a school trip, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got fun for fans of SuperCon and more in September. Now, what is this one?
A spooky day, actually. They're sponsoring, and of course I'll be somewhere even cooler than this. I'm going to be stuck in Florida. This is pretty cool, brought to you by SuperCon. And Spooky Empire, I believe, is part of this. Let me see if I'm right about that, because I don't want to give credit where it's not due. Yeah, Spooky Empire. Okay. Who are going to be teaming up to host the 2019 Spooky Meetup in Disney Park. And this
okay.
And I don't understand why it's the host of 2019. I think that's a typo because the picture says 2018. So
yeah.
I think that's just a typo. But I would love to be there, but it's Saturday, September 22nd, which I will be the 22nd. I should be MegaCon Tampa Bay.
Oh, cool.
I will not be able to do Spooky Day there. I mean, I maybe could. Maybe I'll look at the hours. It looks so fun, though. I love Halloween, man. Halloween's my favorite time of the year. So,
it's definitely a good one. My favorite time of the year is my birthday, but that's because I'm an egotistical douche.
That's just because he likes presents. No one likes me enough to get me presents.
I do love presents. I love them so much I get them for myself. Buy them way ahead of time, and then you're like, oh, damn, I can't believe I got myself that. I forgot.
Really well.
Then we got we're checking out the full schedule for MegaCon. That's MegaCon Tampa Bay, September 21st through 23rd. That's the one you're going to be at, right?
Yeah, my panel didn't get accepted or denied. They didn't get back to me. So I think there was an email issue, so I'm going to let it slide because they hook us up with press passes. They're a great show. I know they put it together pretty quickly. Unfortunately, last year was very affected by Irma, and I think people are misjudging the show based upon last year's performance, and I really do suggest everyone come out. MegaCon does a pretty decent, solid show. Honestly, with the Radicon and all that, they do really well. Communication's good. I have nothing negative to say about them, and in fact, it's only nice things to say about the organization.
Oh, good. Do you know any other creators that we'd all know that we'd be excited to see out at MegaCon?
As of right now, I have to double check this, but Martin Dunn said he was going to be there.
Oh, cool.
I have to double check that. Of course, I'll be there. Who else is going there?
You're tabling, right?
Oh yeah, I'm tabling. There's this guy. I think you've heard of him. Travis Gibb.
I've heard a little bit about him. Doesn't he tell crazy rants on Facebook and shit?
He does. He goes back. He's like, "Wait, I'm not done," and he comes back online, and he's going to be at my table because it turns out not only did I want him at my table.
Talking about Travis, it's Rob.
Go
ahead.
Not only did I want him at the table just to hang out, because of course we're doing the Advocator, and I'd love to talk about that. Plus, his comic will be printed and ready to go. Yep. But I double booked myself on Friday, the first day. I have to. Speaking of Miami, I have to be in Miami and in Tampa Bay at the same time on Friday night.
Oh, dang!
I have an event in the fetish community to talk about fetish babies in Fort Lauderdale. So I was like, Travis, you coming? And he's like, yeah, why? And I explained it to him. He's like, cool, I'll get the table. I'll cover it for us. So, yeah, Travis is going to be hanging out with me, which will be exciting to actually see him at the show. And
that's sick.
His magic, which is weird because, like, he's very Christian, and I respect the hell out of that. But I don't know how I'm going to do all my, like, dirty art now. I might have to hide it a little bit better.
Have you read Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got honestly, I don't think you have any issues at all. He's a dude like any other dude. I don't think I would, and I mean I curse all the time, so does he. I don't know that you need to worry about it at all, honestly.
I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the fact that he's big with his church. I don't want to get him in trouble if he does a live video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the best thing that we've learned about from movies and all that kind of stuff is that it's all about your angles. So he just pointed away and do a live video.
Remember, the show where I'm going to really be putting out my branding as the devil, as now I'm the devilish indie creator. Like, all the new stuff came in, the new business cards. Like, I'm like, poor Travis is going to have to explain this. No, he's not really the devil.
You guys should just brand yourselves as the angel and the devil. It'd be great.
It's the devil, angel.
Now, what the hell is Squarriors, and what is that? Oh, Devil's Due.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, this is Devil's Due. Dirk Manning has had it under Devil's Due. Of course, we've talked about that book for creating comic books that's made by Josh Blaylock on this site. And they're a great thing. We didn't get asked to directly do this program, this what is it, Squarriors?
Squarriors, I believe.
Squarriors, yeah. We didn't get directly asked to put this on our site. You know, just for logistic reasons, we always wait to hear someone to ask us to cover this. But we're on this, so we got to do it. It looks really cool, actually. It looks really interesting. I'll give you a quick look. You'll get a giggle out of this.
It looks like Squirrel Warriors.
Yeah, basically. Exactly what it is. We'll give the video a little bit of. That's so loud. I love the cover though. The cover just makes me laugh. There's a cat in one of the faces. So I guess it's like a card game and a comic crossover too.
Dude.
Oh. Hanging out with the Cold War boys the other day. So what's this I hear is about a Kickstarters? You mean the Squarriors Kickstarter? Can't confirm. I do mean the Squarriors Kickstarters. What's a Kickstarter? What's a Kickstarter? You know what a Kickstarter is, Matt? We've done this before. Kickstarter is an American public benefit corporation that provides a global platform focused on bringing creative projects to life and crowdfunding.
I love this.
I know, right?
Take it easy, Ash. Last time he got his keys stuck on the roof. And to be fair,
She needs to be in the video.
Comics book. It's. Really what he's saying is, it is, but using the contraction is. It's not wrong, but it is unconventional. Is that what you're saying there, Ash? I don't like that. But you like Squarriors, don't you, bud?
Of course I do. Please tell me more about this Squares the comic book.
I love
Kickstarter.
it. They keep in character the whole time.
You know, right?
Get the rest of Warriors Volume 2 summer finished and released.
Oh, that is good. What's been the holdup?
Money, Matt. Time and money. I think what Ash is saying is, if I may, you know how hard Ashley's works, right?
Uh-huh.
Besides this Kickstarter's video, when was the last time you saw her? Last Kickstarter. Right.
All right, I just have to stop here for a minute. This looks like it belongs in Welcome to the Void right here. The bricks.
I know, right?
I was like, wait, what's wrong with the bricks?
That's it. Yeah, it's a really weird. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the funny, you know what? Yeah, that's just weird. It almost looks like I think they filmed them separately.
And they digitally imposed them, right?
Uh-huh.
Because there's something going on there. That or they removed something here.
Oh, yeah, that could be it too.
This is where the Kickstarter reward for the Fetish Babies poster is. And they could not have it in the video. But that was so weird. I was like, oh my God, this looks like Welcome to the Void.
To me, it's funny because to me, when I look at that whole scene and that what they're playing out right there, I look at it and I go, man, that's like King of the Hill.
Yes, that's, oh my God, was I thinking about that.
Yeah.
All right, we got to see the rest of the video. We have to.
Yeah, go ahead.
The idea here is to raise enough money for Ashley's to go back to the Warriors this full time, and for her to do it in an environment where we aren't struggling for survival. That too. So the idea here is, if I may, please. The idea is that Ashley can get the Warriors number 4 and number 5 done this year without being under a lot of stress.
Oh, I like that. What do we get for backing the Kickstarter?
Yeah. What do we get for backing the Warriors Kickstarters? You get an all-new Warriors Volume 1 hardcover, a Volume 2 hardcover, regular issues of Warriors Volume 2 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You get Warriors the card game, a Warriors Starfolio, 2 different T-shirts, 4 different enamel pins, 5 different Warriors the card game variant cards, and other stuff.
Did you notice that he's trying not to laugh?
Yes.
He's doing such a good job. He's got like the best, but he's like, oh my God, this is hysterical. Like, and this guy's just drinking. Like he just in there, I'm gonna get drunk.
He 5 different Warriors the card.
He reminds me of my little brother who would just he'd always be the quiet guy with a beer in his hand, and then just randomly he'd sit up and he'd say something, and then he'd go back and drink his beer again. It's hilarious.
Let's see if there's a Silent Bob moment from him.
Cards and other stuff.
Will there be a music video?
Hard no. Well, that's just terrible. Why not? Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out, John.
Well then, who's going to back this Kickstarters?
I will.
I will. I'll. It's a hard life writing scripts and drawing comics, but as sure as Crash wears mall heads, we're bringing you folks more Warriors.
That is so awesome.
Wow.
I love. That's probably one of the best Kickstarter videos I've ever seen.
You know what? What I like about it is it's so like out of the box, different from anything else that I've ever seen before. So yeah, I mean, they had a lot of fun with it. It has kind of a fun viral quality to it. And I mean, they were talking about all the stuff you can get. Holy crap, I feel like I'd need a Warriors room by the time I'm done.
Yeah, man. I gotta give him credit. Like, my hat's off to him. I don't think I could do a Fetish Babies video that way, though. Like, I think it would just be too weird.
Yeah. But you know what? You could definitely have fun and do a Fetish Babies video at like a fetish show or something.
Yeah, and I get kicked off the Kickstarter so fast.
Well, we'll just tell everybody, hey, try to, if you're going to hang out and jump in the back of the video, just keep your clothes on, please.
Why would I say that? Now see that now here. Remember, the angry emails go to writtensins at Yahoo.
Oh, but well, see what goes behind you that matters on the video, but what they're doing in front of you, they could be naked as jaybirds. It doesn't matter at all.
And just remember, for those of you letting your children watch, you're letting your children watch a show to a guy who calls himself the devilish indie creator. So that's just bad parenting. That's all on you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to tell your kid shouldn't be watching this, you have some serious.
It's so friggin' true. Oh my gosh. Not a wrestling guy, but Renee Young has joined Raw, which I know enough that I know that that's Monday Night Raw, right?
Yeah, correct.
And she's a full-time team announcer now?
Yeah, which is a huge deal because she's actually the first woman to become an announcer of this show, which is now 25 years, over the longest episodic running show ever on television. She does an amazing job. I actually really, really dig what she does, and I'm such a fan.
How funny is it, though, that whenever they're like, we're going to have our first woman anything, like 9 times out of 10, it's a white blonde. Like, that's just, it's the way of it. It's like, if we're going to have our first woman, it's a white blonde.
These opinions were brought to you by Chuck PINEAU, not Mr. Anderson. And
they do not necessarily reflect those of indie advocates. I'm just saying, something I've noticed.
For the women who are upset that he pointed out the truth, you can send him the angry emails.
And ladies, don't get mad at me. I want every woman of every color being shown up. I'm just saying that. And I don't even care what color your hair is. I'm just saying it's always a white blonde girl, like 9 times out of 10. Well, moving on. Now that we're gonna go and we're gonna try to find someone else to offend. We have. Hey, speaking of me possibly offending someone, we have a bunch of Spanish words that I don't fucking understand.
No, this is actually, though, in all fairness, this is something really cool. So, and I do have the translated English version, of course, that we can look at. So we're going to go to that. And I'm not going to try to say that because I'm bad enough with English. I know I'll just crucify the Spanish version. So I'm going to highlight it for you. You guys can see the translation. And it's kind of badass what they're doing. I really appreciate it.
All right, let me see this. Poster for Saturday's presentation. We appreciate dissemination. Let's see if we can get some euros to help the poor people. The cold is coming. There will be great authors to sign your copy, and then I will be. Not everything was going to be good.
Well, remember, there's some translation problems because this is Google Translation. So.
Of course. Presentation of Refugee Solidarity Bullets on Saturday, September 22nd at 1400 hours in Heroes Comic Con Madrid. There will be some of the creators who have participated in this book. I hope you dare to pass those who walk through those parts. Oh, that's okay. So it's something that's for charity. It's looking like.
Yeah, I mean, it talks about social issues. Madrid, of course, is definitely a place that those of us who are sitting in America bitching about how we have it don't really understand the world that some people do live in, and this is eye-opening. And I love the fact that they're trying to do something to build social awareness and actually help children and adults get coats for the winter.
Oh, good.
So that's kind of really badass. I really appreciated what they did. This is by one of my friends, Louis Roldan. I don't know how to say his last name. Can you got to go at that one?
I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, yeah. So that'd be Louis Roldan.
Torquemada.
Oh yeah. There's more to it. Yeah. That sounds right. Actually, Torquemada.
I only know that because of torque wrenches.
Well, and this is actually something that you and I can very much stand behind because I know you were born and raised in New York, right?
Oh yeah.
And so, as a Canadian myself. It's a big issue. Like you have homeless people out on the streets in the middle of winter, and actually in Toronto they have the CN Tower. It's the tallest structure in the city, and it actually changes the lights on it change color, and it changes color so that any homeless person out there has an idea of what the weather is going to be like and whether they should seek shelter for the night. And I love that. I always thought that was really cool. You know, people would go up and they'd see the lights and be like, oh, that's neat. Why is it green today? Well, green because it's nice out. But if it were red, get the hell inside.
Now, do they do shelters in Canada? Because in America, like I was just in Atlanta for Dragon Con, and I was really upset at how many homeless people there really are that seem to be forgotten. And it always breaks my heart, especially being with my son, Jax, who comes with me. I was just, oh man, I didn't know how to explain it to him at 3, and he's having trouble talking. And he was looking at them, and you know, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto actually absolutely has tons of shelters, but the problem is that homelessness is a huge issue, and I'm so glad that these guys are dealing with it because you have shelters, but you never have enough.
Yeah,
which is sad.
We have Teslas, we have $1 million cars, but we still have people living on streets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's our world. But you know what? We do everything we can to make it a better place, and yeah, I mean that's all you can do. So definitely, if you're in Europe and this is something that you can be a part of, but even just looking at it and seeing if you can pick up a copy, knowing that money will hopefully go to some very needy and wanting people. Moving along, we got the indie banners we got to talk about earlier, right?
Yeah, and the cool thing about this, like we were talking about earlier, really quickly, just to show you guys, every person in the banner, like I said, that will be taking over the Cause Viewed section right here in our menu. It's going to tell you about everyone who's listed, and you can see the names here, and some people have already begun to fill in their stuff. Chuck, I believe you have your stuff already lined up right here.
Yep.
Raheel has it. Raheel Moshin is creator of Cat Dad and Supermom. I don't know why my computer is acting funny. I think I have too many things open right now.
Oh, man, my screen has been pink for a week, and I have no idea why. Well, actually, I have a pretty good idea. My kid likes to play on my computer, and she's done something. I just don't know what.
Okay. But yeah, if this were to load, we would actually see everyone else's information too. So it's pretty good, pretty badass. But I know you got to get going, right?
I do pretty soon. So I can jump through a couple more real quick if you don't mind.
Let's do a speed. Go for it.
Okay. So we have the Indie Advocates Workshop at Daytona Comic Con in November 4th.
That's our takeover. We're taking over, like me, Travis, Paige Alfred, a whole bunch of creators are going to spend all day in the actual panel room talking about indie comics. And one of the concepts I have is the Q&A will never end. When we start the panel room to when we end it at the end of the day, you can ask a question at any point. So
you have the room booked for the entire day?
We're calling it a takeover.
Wow. I mean, that's not a normal thing at all, is it?
Nope. First time that a group of creators, and of course we have permission. We're not taking it over forcefully.
Oh, yeah. As much as that would be fun.
But we are taking it over all day, locking it down. We're going to talk about how the importance of education in comic books. We're going to do the Indie Advocates panel. We're going to talk about sexual and racial representation in comic books.
Damn, I mean, not just blowing smoke up your ass. I would love to be at something like that. Even obviously to talk about it, but also just to be able to sit in and watch it. That'd be really cool.
We are going to try to live stream the panels from the show too, to build the awareness of all the things that are going on.
Sweet. All right. Well, then I'll try to keep that mooring off so I can jump on. And speaking of jumping on, these guys are jumping off of Kickstarter. Nook successfully funded in like 12 hours and went on to do several. I think they did close to $4,000, which is really awesome. And that's from Caleb Thusat, who did Zed and Ultralife and all that kind of stuff. And then the other book to jump off of Kickstarter was Dr. Orange from Joseph Dewis, which I actually got to review that one and read it. And it's twisted in its own way. Definitely just a crazy book. Did not see any of that stuff coming. A lot of fun. Wayne's Comic Podcast episode, well, it doesn't say which episode it is, but Ogre #1, the advanced review. Bob Sally looks like he's killing it with Ogre. I would love to see what this is like.
Oh, it's awesome. I read the first 2 issues. My God, it's great.
It is really killer.
Oh, dude, like, I mean, his metaphors to modern day society, taken back to this, I guess it would be a Dark Ages type setting, is amazing.
Yeah.
And if you're a clever person, you'll get what he's trying to drag at. But if you even miss what he's trying to do with the metaphors, it's still a solid story that's amazing.
Sweet. I'm excited for that. That one does look really good. Like Father, Like Daughter, the TPB, I got to jump on that one, and I really enjoy the idea of it. And this is coming from Short Fuse Media, which they have tons of different books happening. Definitely, like, if you want to be able to immerse yourself into what they do and all that kind of stuff, this is a nice jumping on point. I think it's the first 4 books, and I believe actually they've been able to do it so that they made enough on stretch goals that they're actually going to give you, if you got the trade paperback, they're also going to give you the unreleased issue 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is really cool. And then congrats to the Nasty Girls, which just took success on Kickstarter. I actually haven't heard of this one.
It was another quick in and out. We got tagged in it. This was, again, one of the Kickstarters that happened late. And that's why we went late last week to Kickstarter talk. But it was cool, man. You should definitely still check it out. The video, it looks promising. It looks cool. It's kind of, as a warning, kind of an SJW story, but I don't think it's heavy on it. I think it's I don't even know if SJW would be right for it. It is socially aware. Let's put it that way. So
okay.
SJW sometimes has a very bad I don't know what word I'm looking for. It has this
connotations. Like, it's been, yeah. I mean, the term SJW is usually used as in a negative fashion, and really, it's, from the sounds of it, it's just a socially aware book that's trying to show you a certain aspect of things. So that's cool. I mean, as a father of girls himself, as you know, I have daughters. I think representation of women and how we view them in our society is very important, because even though, you know, women can vote and do all this kind of stuff, there's still an equality issue that can certainly be dealt with. So, yeah, I'm glad for it. And then we have Gabriel Troya. Gabriel Troya, is he not the 12-year-old that wrote the comic book? Yeah, he is. That's kick-ass. Odds and Evens. That's one that I've been trying to keep an eye out for. Is it on Kickstarter yet, or what's up with that one?
It's currently live. I believe it comes off next week, off the top.
Have they funded already?
You know, last time I checked, they were still struggling to fund. I think their goal was a little high, so it was going to take them a little bit of build. Because I haven't set up this week's Kickstarter program. I haven't looked at it fully yet. Usually I look at it the day of and I check out where everyone is. Because sometimes programs get canceled and sometimes they fund. Last week, because we were late, we actually missed having the Guano Guy be live. It ended as we went to it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But I did get to see Mark Durden in person at Ancient City Con and congratulate him on his success. So that was pretty
sweet. Cool. And this is one I've seen around, The Colorful Tales of Dreadful Dolls adult coloring book.
And the video on this is fantastic if you haven't watched it.
No, I have actually. I don't remember who's showing it to me, but someone was saying, man, you got to check this one out. The adult coloring book world is not my world, but it's really cool and creepy. It definitely has an audience, so I have no doubt that that's going to do well. And I know, honestly, I feel like it's a great gift. Like, even if you don't like it, you're like, I know someone who would like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Bruno Sammartino, The True Life Story of a Wrestling Legend based on actual interviews. Is this John Crowther?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because he's a wrestling comic guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Huge with bringing these 80s legends to life in comic book pages.
And then it's the first of 5. So, I mean, it's going to be... I like these because you already know kind of where it's going to go. You have a good idea. Like, he's already said it's going to be 5 comics. Like, that's terrific. You get to check out the free preview on Kickstarter. So, I mean, you already know kind of what you're going to get and what you're supporting. And that's kind of cool in that regard.
Oh, definitely. And he does a great job of bringing these characters to life.
That's really cool. And of course, he has so much to work with. So, I mean, that's really awesome. The Adventures of Parker Reef to Save a Soul, a story dedicated to the girlfriend and son I lost. Whoa, that's heavy.
Oh, man. If you haven't watched this movie, for those who don't know, and I'm actually friends with the creator here, he lost his newborn and his fiance, and it's heartbreaking. To watch the video makes you understand it. And this is Chris, I think Campos, if I'm pronouncing it. I'm trying to look at the tag right now because I tagged the name. Where's the name? I always forget where the tags are. We'll go real quick to it. And I know you have to take off, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you can take off and I'll wrap it up. It's Christopher Campana. But do take the time to watch this video. You'll instantly want to back it. I've already backed it.
Okay, yeah, no, and you know what? I definitely will, because that is already something that I feel I could be interested in. So I guess before I go, I'm just going to give everyone some love. Thank you so much for coming out and watching, and I'm going to let Rob take over and enjoy the indie comic news. Thank you, buddy, for coming out. I really appreciated it. I had a blast with you every time, buddy.
I had fun, too, and I guess I become the host now.
You do. Good luck, my brother.
All right, see you later, Chuck.
See ya.
So we'll do this officially. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I am the voice of Indie Advocates, and I will be wrapping up the rest of the show with you guys. So as I was saying, this is an amazing video, and since we're live, since I'm taking over, let's give you a quick look at this.
Thanks so much for coming and checking out the Kickstarter for The Adventures of Parker Reef, new book that I'm writing and drawing now. I'll just cut right to it. The book is an extremely personal project. For those who know what happened, you know why. For those who don't, on March 14th of this year, Wednesday, I lost my girlfriend and our son. So, for months, and to even today, I don't know what to do with myself. But I know that I have to write and draw this book. Parker, our son, was named after a comic book character, a certain guy who shoots webs. And my whole job has been drawing comics for as long as I can remember. And it was the thing that Tana, my girlfriend, probably loved about me the most, the fact that I followed my dream. So this book is a tribute to her and her belief in me, and to the son that I never got to really meet. So the way the book works is Parker and Tana are where you go when you pass. And years have gone by, and he has chosen as his birthday wish a very special wish. And that is to spend a day with me in the land of the living. So Tana, over the years, knew that this was a possibility. And you know, when things go missing within your house, like pencils and keys and socks and all that kind of stuff, Tana has taken certain things from my studio in our house and slowly taught him about me and my life and who I am. So he's going to take some of those things, most importantly being the pencil from my studio, because that pencil holds everything I've ever drawn. And in his adventure, he'll be able to use that pencil to draw the things he needs to get to where he needs to get to, which is ultimately, hopefully, to me. Now, the adventure part, well, he's a soul, and that soul is trying to get somewhere. And people want to take control of certain souls. And if he fails to get to me, his soul is lost forever. So while on his way, he will encounter creatures, other lost souls, tormented souls, demons, adventures, obstacles, all that kind of stuff. Any son of mine is going to go on the coolest, greatest adventure anyone can go on. So that's it. I want to do this book for people who have lost children, loved ones. I think it's important. It has to be done. And I know that Tana would want me to do it. And in all honesty, it's the only way while I'm here that I'll have them again. So I have to do it. And if it helps other people who have lost, it's amazing. And she would love that. So that's it. Hopefully the artwork that is in the video tells you more than clearly I'm stating right now. Thank you so much for always supporting my projects, this one especially. Please support it and share it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
I'm not too proud to admit that I ran out while the video was playing to hug my son. I don't have the right words. As a writer, I don't have the right words for this. I, of course, sent my condolences. He is someone I consider a friend. And from me, I'd appreciate you guys just checking it out. And if you have the money, please back this project. And I know it says that I haven't backed it here. It's backed on my other the profile for where we run the Kickstarter Sinsful Comics' Kickstarter page, because I do have two different ones, and I'll be backing it on this one too. I don't know what else to say, so I'm gonna just go on with the news. But please take the time to watch it, because it is a powerful story, and you can also check out now in Indie Previews, A Light Before the Darkness. And in This Week in Indie Comics will be refilmed probably tomorrow. It was the first week of the fall season. Now, This Week in Indie Comics is kind of interesting in the regards that we are going to be using that as a way for me to make the show quicker. I miss doing the news, and that was kind of why I came on the show today. And I'm going to be doing probably a quicker version, maybe calling it the news update or whatever have you. We'll have the deeper show with Chuck on Mondays. I'm going to try to fulfill doing another version of it. Maybe we'll get other people to do it. I definitely want it to become something bigger and badder than it has been. Obviously, today's been a little bit longer because me and Chuck were hanging out together, but I think it's important. So expect a definite increase in the amount of news programs we'll be bringing you. And I'm going to try to do a condensed 10-minute version. And the way I can get away with that is that I don't have to talk about all the Kickstarters. I could possibly just talk about today's top news and skip Kickstarters and refer to you guys to go to this link, which is at the bottom of every single thread that there is. So all you have to do is click on a thread to see that video. And if we do that, I can make the news probably every night. And I think and it's been doing well. We don't always get all the views on it shown on the YouTube because we embedded it in our site, but I can tell just from the Facebook views that people have responded well to it. So that's pretty cool. And then, for example, like Daisy Chain issue 1, I would skip over and I would not do any of these because you can watch that. You can click that link and see all the Kickstarters. So I would skip all this and I would then go on to talking about, hey, watch the Kickstarter Talk issue 36. The Guano Guy's last hour is his Dragon's Dream, and Nasty Girls perform in honor of Bruno Sammartino. What does that all mean? Well, you have to click the link to find out, and then I could continue on. I'd go to our social media presence, joining the Advocating Facebook group, and the Comic-Con forecast for this weekend. Now, I have not begun to work on this weekend's Comic-Con forecast for those who are curious, and one of the reasons I haven't worked on it is that we do have a hurricane situation going on, and I've reached out to some promoters to see if there are any plans, and I'm waiting to hear back on that. So I will have more information tomorrow, hopefully, about how to best forecast this weekend. The hurricane's looking to skip Florida entirely, but South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia areas are within the target cone right now, which means Maryland would be affected. But the entire East Coast could be affected. And we're just heading up there next week for Baltimore. No, 2 weeks from now for Baltimore. So next week we would be at Tampa Bay, actually. I was misspoke there. But still, I mean, and I could have a show. I have a panel, I should say, in Orlando this week. So that's pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. And then available in Indie Previews, Fetish Babies. And remember, guys, I'm going to Kickstarter this October for my trade. I need you there. I need your support. And I need you to back me on this one. This might be my first graphic novel, and I really, really am excited about this. So please, I'm not doing an event for it. I don't think that the events translate. I'll be doing live videos instead. I've tried the events. I think I'm bothering people with the events, to be honest with you, so I try not to do them. But you should join. Oh, wow, what bad timing to talk about that and then talk about the Join the Geek Girl Kickstarter launch event. But this is cool because Sam is in the UK, so this is a great way for the American population to actually see the amazing work he does with Geek Girl. And his event is actually followed, unlike my events, which no one seems to follow. And I think that's because they know they'll hear from me. If you're following me, you're an avid watcher of the videos, and I appreciate everything you do and the comments that you make. So thank you so much. And again, we would skip all of these because you guys can find all these amazing Kickstarters on Kickstarter Talk or in This Week in Indie. And then that would be the end of the show. So that's what we're going to be doing in the future. I hope you guys like the changes we made. We moved away from the comic books for the fall to the creators because it was time. And for those who have been around for a very long time, you realize that this is us going back to what we originally did. Originally, back when we were called Creators of Written Sins, even before we got the shorter name Written Sins, we were doing creators on the top of our page as opposed to comic books. We might actually do something new and innovative during the winter months. What that is, I'm not going to say yet, but I'll give you a hint. It's something that a lot of creators hand out during the show. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. We've been on for a very long time. I appreciate you tuning in. That's the end of the programming for today. This news program will probably be the news program for the week. I don't see me filming another news program this week. Because I want to catch up on some other stuff. But the new quicker news program will probably go into effect once I'm off the road to New York Comic Con. A lot of stops this coming up for me. I've got something in Orlando. I've got Tampa. I've got Fort Lauderdale. And then I head up to Baltimore. I go from Baltimore to New York Comic Con. And then it kind of gets really slow for me. It's going to be weird to be that slow. I'll have officially been on the road how many weeks in a row? I'll tell you. By the end of New York Comic Con, finally coming home at the end of New York Comic Con, I will have been on the road 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks. And I'll have gone to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows, 10 events in what looks to be 8 weeks. We'll have gone from Virginia to Baltimore to New York, Florida, even Georgia because of Dragon Con. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a lot going on. But after New York Comic Con, everything kind of calms down. That's the end of the con season. New York Comic Con kind of caps the year off. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be there. I'm going to be at the official Caliber Comics booth. So there's a lot of exciting stuff to come in the next couple weeks. Expect a lot of live videos from me. I know I was a little quiet over the last couple weeks. There's a lot of back issues. I'm trying to not stress myself, try to rest the back for New York Comic Con, knowing what's coming. I've been also dealing with a cold that I have not been able to fully get rid of. You can hear I'm kind of nasal. And I hate that nasal sound in my voice. Plus, you know, my throat's been a little scratchy from being at all the different shows. So I wanted to come on, thank you guys for all the support, do the news with Chuck tonight, and really give you an awesome program. I know I'm going to probably be a little busy starting next week as we start Tampa Bay MegaCon, and then we leave for Baltimore, and then that's it. You'll be seeing on the when we leave for Baltimore, we don't come back home. We'll be staying with family, visiting family, doing family stuff and tourist stuff in New York right before New York Comic Con. So a lot of stuff that you guys are going to be seeing in the next couple weeks. So it's an exciting time of the year. Welcome to the fall and the amazingness that is the road to New York Comic Con.